So I'd like to start with what I took some notes here with what I saw during our pairing session. I really like that you were always asking me if I'm okay with the name, with what you're doing. So you were extremely explicit with what you'd like, what you were doing, and you weren't doing something without telling me what you're doing or why or and so on. So I think that's very nice and useful when you're pairing with someone, and it brings this level of understanding and of likeliness when doing this activity. You explained Kotlin a bit to me, and that was very nice. I really learned some parts and tricks. I haven't used it. I just paired a bit with a few people, so I just know a few bits of it. Of course, it's very similar to other languages like Java, a bit with Scala, C Sharp, PHP, whatever, but it does have some very interesting functionalities that I think are useful and they help you very much in some situations. Another thing was about small steps. I think that you always were taking small steps when writing code, trying to figure out if things are working and remaining in that flow of in the green flow. And the same thing with refactoring. We focused on more options. I really like that. That's the way I work. I always try to see options. What are my options now? And even a bit further away. So not just looking at the options that I have now, but looking at the options that I might have later if I choose a certain option. So it's a bit more or less like playing chess. That if I would do this now, I would open a few options and then I think it's better. Or if I don't do this now, I might get stuck. And I think we tried to focus on having the most elegant solution. We came up with ideas, and I think at the end we chose the solutions that are more elegant from our point of view. So those are my notes. That's what I learned from this pairing session. How about you?
Um, I really enjoyed that. Um, I had feedback from you at each step because this is, I'm always worried asking the person I'm pairing or mobbing what we want to do next, what we are doing now, because the main point of doing this together is to make sure that everyone is having the same level of understanding, that everyone is able to understand why we are making the choices. And sometimes people do not give me this feedback, and then
Mhm.
it's harder to know whether I should keep asking them or if I'm bothering people or
Mhm.
not. So I think that it's really it's an important dynamic when you pair and when you work, always giving feedback, even more when you do it remotely. Um, I enjoyed that we tried to focus on telling stories, on calling our test chapters and this kind of thing, because it really changed our mindset of what we are going to write. Uh, I like that you said that we as developers tend to be more focused on building things, and testers tend to be more focused on see how they can break these things. And I think that the idea of writing things like stories helps um, understanding and being aware that we are focusing on the bid part, and that exceptions, error cases will be also part of stories and maybe sub-parts of story, and helps actually performing little steps instead of uh, having a big test that does a bit everything. I really enjoyed the explanation on the builder. This is something I have done sometimes, but not enough, and I have no better understanding of uh, why it is really an important technique. And um, having functions that are not tied to the builder is also an interesting idea that I will definitely reuse in the future. And well, to conclude, I would say it was really easy for me to pair with you, and thank you for this.
Yeah, thank you as well for having this long pairing session. I think we can definitely continue in a later episode uh, with with this idea and to see where we're gonna end up with after a while. I think we took the time, and that's good. We didn't rush. Um, so I felt that it was a good pace for the things we are doing and explained enough that both of us understand what we try to do. That was good.
Yeah, I agree that I like to go fast, but uh, for this kind of exercise, it's interesting to take time and uh, let time to talk about what we are doing and why. It
Hmm.
kind for me, it's a way to improve and um, learn new things.
Yeah, for me too. That's why we're pairing. I think for me it's the best way to learn from other people. Very practical and sometimes very small things, but that can help you a lot in certain situations. Okay, so I think we'll wrap it up. Thank you for pairing with me. Have fun coding and see you next time.
Yes, thank you. See you next time.